Okay, guys, I'm here. Uh, this is going to be a. I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to describe this stream today because I'm going to go from anger at one level to another level to another level. All right. Let's sort of start off with some good news. Okay, Trump finally won one in the court system today or the other day. And let's see here. A federal judge in the United States of America has restored President Donald Trump's deferred resignation program for federal workers. U.S. District Judge George O'Toole of Massachusetts made the ruling in favor of Trump's administration on Wednesday. Trump has lost, like I said, the Democrats have been jury shopping these lawsuits against Trump. There's one particular guy who has said it's coordinating a bunch of these lawsuits, and he says he's got over 100 of them ready to go. And they're just going to space them out just to keep Trump tied up in court over everything, which is a dirty tactic, but it's one that's going to work. They did it to him his first term. They're doing it to him now. So there's a bit of good news. Another bit of good news for people like me and several other people on this stream or who visit out here. Federal court has ruled that Illinois, oh man, this is the Illinois FOID, Firearm Owners Identification Card Act law is unconstitutional, violates the Second Amendment. And this come around because the woman had bought a .22 rifle, kept it in her home, and when her ex-husband come in and attacked her, she held the firearm, her .22 rifle, in her hands and made him leave. Well, he went to the police and claimed that she shot it at him. Well, the police went out and investigated and found that no, she did not shoot the gun at him, but she did not have that fire owner's identification card. So they arrested her and they prosecuted her. This is a woman named Vivian Brown. That happened back in 2017. And going through the court system, my God, 7 years, 8 years going through the court system. She is finally vindicated. And not only her right to keep a firearm in her home, not carry it, but in her home for self-protection, but the fact that even having that firearm ID card as a requirement to own a firearm is unconstitutional and violates the Second Amendment. And many people, including myself, when we've discussed this in the past, has been the idea, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, when they make you buy an ID card in order to keep and bear arms, that would be similar to making you buy, and this is important. The left has argued that they cannot force you to buy an ID card in order to vote, and then have to present the ID card to vote. That's why states will issue a state-issued ID card at no cost. All right. Now, it's not a driver's license. The states that want to have a voter ID card will give you that ID card for free. And you have to present it to vote. Well, that's the same argument being put here. Why should I have to pay for an ID card in order to own a firearm that right is guaranteed to me under the Second Amendment of the Constitution? Damn, Spanky. I know you ate this morning, but why's your belly growling at me? Spanky's laying on the couch here right next to me, and his belly just did one heck of a rumble. I'd look to see if he was leaking anywhere. So this will probably end up going up higher on in the state Supreme. Probably end up going up to the state Supreme Court. But for now, it's a win. The state will probably appeal this ruling because this was a second judicial court. So this wasn't the state Supreme Court. So we'll see. We'll see if this actually what's going to happen. But if you want to keep up on this, this is the lawsuit is the people of the state of Illinois versus Vivian Claudine Brown. To see what's going to go on in the future here. And they bring up one thing here that's was interesting. This article did. Richard Pearson, the Illinois State Rifle Association's executive director, criticized the Illinois government for its stance on firearms and self-defense. He pointed out what he called a glaring hypocrisy. While the state government claims to protect domestic violence victims, it simultaneously enforces laws that disarm them. It's the height of hypocrisy for Governor Pritzker to sign legislation today claiming to protect potential domestic violence victims, while at the same time the FOA card is being used to disarm those same potential victims. And how's it doing it? By placing that financial barrier between them and being able to buy a firearm. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, what do I got here? No, I don't want to get to that yet. So let me get back to here because now this is the first thing I say. Hey, morning, Raman. It's just you and me as of right now, as far as I can tell, Raman. Well, wait, no, it says that there's 3 other people there listening. So you're the first person to join me in chat, that's all. But anyway, let's take this. Here's another one I wanted to look at that really, really pissed me off this morning. And this one had me angry before I even turned on this computer. And I shared it with my wife, and it made her angry before she left for work. Let's see if I can share it this way. Yes, there it is.
I think my son has ADHD.
Okay, this woman is in a meeting with her son's teacher. Okay, this is her first meeting with the teacher, parent teacher conference type thing.
That is what the nurse is saying, yes.
Okay, well, the nurse is not a doctor.
And when they're talking to the nurse here, they're talking about the school nurse. And let's all admit it, school nurses are not the most qualified medical people around. They're rarely highly qualified individuals in the medical field. They're usually a step, from my personal opinion, they're usually a step down from your paramedic or EMT. Okay, I mean, that's just my opinion of school nurses. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. You'd have to prove me wrong.
True, but the nurse has a great deal of experience with this kind of thing, and your son.
I'm not going to argue that point with you, Raman. By the way, you do have, if you're feeling up to it, you do have an invite in your DMs. And the school nurse is highly qualified simply because she has seen a lot of children. That's what the teacher is saying here.
Son is exhibiting all the telltale signs of having ADHD. Not just that, but very disruptive in class.
Okay, I'm sorry he's disruptive in class. This is the first you're telling me about that. So I can try to find some solutions to that. I can try giving him some fidget things. I see those like desk foot things.
Well, you start off with application of the hand to butt parenting style. Well, first of all, if the child has been disruptive in class, the teacher should have long before contacted the parent. This teacher makes it sound, it sounds, from what I've heard of this teacher, it sounds as if this young man has been very disruptive in class for quite a while. It's not like he just started today or started this week. Oh, wow.
but the school nurse is not a doctor. She cannot diagnose my son. And I believe we can come to a solution without having to put him on medication, because at the end of the day, he's a young boy. They have a lot of energy.
True.
Now, young boy having a lot of energy. My son took after my side of the family when it came to this. Now, I personally wasn't that disruptive in class. But I was the bookworm. I was the one that got in trouble in class for reading Asimov and Heinlein instead of my assigned reading, which I'd already read a couple of days earlier because especially like in my history class and such. Hey, morning, Paul. How you doing? Supervillain. Okay. And but my brothers, they were the ones that got in trouble for being hyperactive in classrooms. So, but definitely my side of the family, not my wife's side.
But the school nurse does recommend that your child is on medication until we can find a balance in the behavior and then implement slowly but surely other devices that can perhaps help. But at this point, climbing all over the furniture, pushing other children down so they slam their head on the floor, the physical violence that your child is exhibiting, to me, requires more than just a spinner.
Oh, really? Let me check something because I shouldn't be having.
Okay, that should sound me very much better. That should have me sound. I mean, my voice is a little more cracky and deeper than normal this morning, but that should be better. Raman, why didn't you say something? I'll have to play this back and see what happened. Okay, that should be making me sound back more normal. But anyway, this teacher is saying that this child has been really destructive and abusive to other students. And again, why is she waiting until this session to say anything to the parent? That should have happened a lot sooner than what this conference is here. There should have been phone calls to the parent a lot sooner.
Okay, well, this is the first I'm hearing of any of that. If that is my son's doing, I'm going to have a talk with him because I'm his parent. But I feel like, had this happened prior to today's, you should have let me know ahead of time and I could talk to those parents. So this seems really irresponsible, first and foremost. And second of all, if I say I want to try things to help my son without medication first, then your job is to be like, yes, here's what is and is not working in the classroom. You can't tell me that I have to put my son on medication.
It is not the teacher's position. Hey, morning, Raman. Raman.
Right here.
There you are. Does my voice sound more normal than what it was at the beginning?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Or else what? They're going to expel him?
Well, no, it gets even worse, Raman. It gets even
I'm
worse.
listening. You sound fine.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
not saying
I've
you
been on
have
both
to.
sides of this because, my kids are autistic and, you know, they've been bullied and they've accidentally injured other children, so I get it. But,
But
the school can't tell you to put your kid on meds. They can put you on alert to your child's behavior, but that's about it.
and they put you on alert to your child's behavior when that behavior first exhibits
That's when you
itself.
take your kid to see the pediatrician and get a referral to have them evaluated.
But what I'm saying is the teacher doesn't wait weeks to let you know that your kid's being disruptive.
Yeah, I don't even know, man.
I mean, I'll be honest. My teachers had my parents' phone numbers on speed dial.
Mine, I always on the speed dial
I mean,
too. Yeah.
speed dial didn't exist, but our teachers had next to our names our parents'
Yup.
name and phone numbers, both home number and work numbers to my parents, to all of the parents, to where they could go up and call any student's parents at any given time. Now, granted, my graduating class was small. The entire senior class is only 350 kids.
Ooh,
That's small, and that took 3 townships to graduate that many.
okay.
So, and that's
Wow.
3 townships, encompassing 2 counties. So but still, the teachers knew who our parents were and how to get in contact with them. And they're waiting this teacher's waiting until this student's behavior has been erratic and disruptive for weeks before
Yeah.
contacting the parent.
That sounds like public schools. Yeah. Hey,
I
baby.
am saying that since it is nurse recommended, based on
Right.
physical-
Nurse recommended. School
Absolutely.
nurse
Yes,
recommended.
who has a great deal of experience with children with ADHD, we are asking you please
All right,
to
Jenna.
listen to their advice. And sadly, if the behavior continues unmedicated, you risk losing your child.
Did you hear that, Raman?
I know. I have a lot of background noise. What's happening?
Oh, the teacher just said, and let me see if I can back this up here.
Listen to their advice, and sadly, if the behavior continues unmedicated,
All I'm here is listening to their
risk
advice.
losing
I
your
don't know what
child.
she's really saying.
Okay, she said if you don't listen to their advice and the behavior continues unmedicated, you risk losing your children. That's what the teacher just told the parent. That unless you medicate your kids, you're going to lose them. Unless you medicate your son, you're going to lose them.
Ugh.
I risk losing my
That's
child.
not the.
Yes.
Please elaborate on that. What do you mean I risk
And
losing my child?
Where's the parent supposed to get these mystery meds from? You can't just go in a doctor's office and say, the school has ordered my kid medicated. Give me drugs.
Exactly. And remember, we're talking about this is a school teacher saying that a school nurse has diagnosed her child as having ADHD. And if that child isn't put on medication, well, let me play this.
Right.
Feel that you are not taking the problem seriously enough.
Okay, teacher just said you're not taking, if we believe you're not taking the issue serious enough,
In other words, giving your child medication to calm them down in the school environment, that is a clear reflection of the fact that you are not being a responsible parent.
Unless you drug your kids the way I'm telling you, you need to drug
Yeah.
your kids. You are
And
not a
we're gonna
responsible
call
parent.
CPS. That's a threat.
And unfortunately, irresponsible parents lose their children in our society. There are plenty of foster homes who would be happy to give your child the medication that they so desperately need.
Yeah, these foster homes would be more than glad to drug your kids because while they're
Oh
getting
yeah,
the
get
drugs
some more
for
money.
free, they're getting paid to give them to your kid.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they'll
Your
drug
kid
up
gets
your kid and
diagnosed
make
with
them
something.
a mushroom on the couch. As long as they're getting paid to do it.
Okay, you're having a really bad echo issue.
I am.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That might be me. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going
That's
on.
just me. I just tell this has got me at a 9.8 out of 10 in anger.
That's me. I had the browser. I forgot to mute the browser.
My wife and I, we had three major arguments in the 30 some odd years we've been married. 35 years that we've been married.
Oh,
Okay. We've had three major arguments. Three.
okay.
All right. And one of them was over this exact situation where the school said our son, had to go on Ritalin
Oh,
because he was too active. And I
I'm so
and I
glad my
sat there
kids
and
never
I
got
sat there and
prescribed
said,
that.
what do you mean he's too active? Well, he sits there and he's bouncing around in his chair. He
Yeah.
can't wait for recess. Okay. My son was not a television or it wasn't addicted to television or computer screens when he was in elementary school.
Okay.
He was out on his bicycle. He was out playing ball. He was out playing frisbees. He was out playing with the dog. He was outside from the time he got done eating breakfast until lunchtime, and then from after his lunchtime to dinner time, he was outside again. He was playing outdoors.
Oh wow.
All right. I had I had a BB gun range set up for him.
Cool.
Before he went into kindergarten, I had him shooting a BB gun
Okay.
in my backyard.
Time well spent with your boy. Okay.
And he he would go out there and set up I mean, the wife and I we could see him from inside the house.
Okay.
And he would go out there by himself and set up his targets and shoot his little Red Ryder BB gun
Oh.
at his targets and have a freaking ball while doing it. He'd sit out there and play cowboy and Indian, and he was the cowboy.
Oh yeah.
Or he was the sniper taking out the bad guys.
Uh huh.
All right. He was outside playing. Okay. Or he'd be out there kicking the ball around with the dog and having the dog chase it.
Um.
Or, I mean, we had over a third of an acre in the backyard alone. We had a really big backyard. He had a bicycle. He had a little go kart, a pedal powered go kart, and we had ramps and that kind of stuff set up for him to ride that thing over.
Then a push.
So I know what it's like having an active kid, and when he got into school, he was not used to sitting for hours on end. So it took a while for him to get used to it. And the teachers wanted him put on Ritalin because, well, we find that calms them down. Yeah, it turns them into a damn mushroom. And the one statement the one teacher said, this teacher doesn't say it, but the one statement that my son's teacher said was, yeah, we find that most of the boys need to be on Ritalin because that way that they sit quietly like the girls do.
Oh my God.
You know me, Ramen. I mean, for 4
Yep.
years, you and I have been streaming together.
Wow. Feels like longer. I don't mean that in a bad way. It just feels like I've known you forever.
Okay, you know me. Can you imagine how much that pissed me off when she said that she
Oh
liked her
yeah.
having her boys drugged up so they acted like
Medicated and
little
zombies.
girls?
Dude. She wants them silent and complacent. No independent thinking.
And little boys are not little girl. Little boys are. I mean, yeah, I was the exception growing up. I was that bookworm. I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get in trouble for being rambunctious in the classroom. I got in trouble because I had already read the school material, so I'm sitting there reading Asimov and Heinlein.
Oh.
But this teacher is telling her that she wants to turn her son into a mushroom, or else she's going to call CPS on him and have her
Yeah, it's
child
fucking
taken away
ridiculous.
from him.
If it's only a school nurse recommendation, nobody lost their kid over that shit. I don't care what anybody says.
My son just had a checkup last month and his doctor did not say anything about suspecting him of having ADHD. And now you are threatening to call what, CPS on me? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely,
Because
and I
that's how
have to
school
say
works.
yes. The
Okay,
nurses
you know
talking
what?
about-
I'm done here. I'm disenrolling my son. Do not bring your kids here. They're going to try to medicate them.
Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous that they would do that. That teacher would even consider
Well,
doing that.
I had a school executive. I took my kid out of one school, and in order to get in the school that's actually closer to me, you had to file for, what do you call it, a scholarship.
Okay.
I mean, it's free, but at the same time, you got to file for it because they're out of bounds, but they're not anyway. I called the district, and the actual ESCE head guy at the new school was telling me to call. He gave me a number to call, and I explained to her the situation. And she says, "Well, I don't know if we're gonna approve this because the school year's already started." I'm like, well, either way, I'm taking my daughter out of the school. Well, you can't take her out unless she's going to another school. Um, she's brought up the court. I'm like, oh, okay. Just so we're on the same page, when the media shows up at the courthouse, I really hope you stick to your opinion that you feel it necessary to traffic my daughter to a known offender at her old school because he's autistic and needs his impulses rather than my daughter, who is also autistic, needs her safety. But we'll see when we get there. She got so horrified by what I was saying. My daughter got instantly approved. There was no wait time on that. So yeah.
I just hope that this mother, I don't know if she's a single mother or whatever, but I hope this woman, and if she has a husband, I hope that they were in a
Oh,
lawyer's office within 24 hours after that meeting. I would not be going to seeing the school board. I've bypassed the principal. I've bypassed talking to the school board. I'd be going straight to a lawyer.
hey, Paul. Yeah, I should have sued the
Get
school. I could have gotten millions. I could have
get
bankrupted Broward County schools.
one, get a lawyer to get ahead of the fact that they're going to call CPS on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to wait until CPS has already been called to get a
Right.
lawyer to
Exactly.
fight them. You get a lawyer involved early.
Also, if there's anybody out there that's still parents of minor children, you don't let anyone in your house unless they have a warrant, whether it's CPS, the police, or whatever.
Oh, exactly. And if CPS shows up with the sheriff's department or the local police department, which they often will do,
Yes, to try to
all
force their
right.
way in.
Well, no, they call the cops to bring them there to intimidate you.
Yeah, it's an intimidation tactic. But you don't have to let
And
nobody in unless they have a warrant and they have to show
and
it to you.
and then you turn around and tell the cops, I've now asked them, you ask them 3 times to leave your property, which they won't.
Then
Then
you
you
call
turn
the
around and
police
tell
on
the
the
cops
place.
and say, I want them trespass from my property.
Yeah.
Because I've asked them to leave. They refuse to leave. You've heard me ask them to leave and they've refused to leave. I want them gone.
Also, if you're smart, you'll whip your phone out and start recording and they can say, I don't consent. It doesn't matter. They know they're being recorded. They can leave.
Oh, yeah,
They
definitely.
are in their capacity of working as a government agent. They can't tell you can't record them while they're on your property.
You can record anybody on your property,
Damn
no
right.
matter who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do have a little 4x4 sticker
Yeah.
on.
Smile for the camera.
Yeah, you're being audio and video recorded while on my property.
Nice.
I've got that there just to be, just be a little more protective.
Okay.
Now, I had under a plainclothes sheriff show up one day to my house.
I've had that happen multiple
There,
times. My
there
neighbors
was
are
well,
assholes.
unfortunately, there was a rather serious crime committed down the street from where I live,
Ooh.
and they're asking if my security systems had managed to catch anything.
Oh, cool.
And he got a little irritated when I wouldn't let him in the house to view to view my security footage. I made him do it off my cell phone out in the front porch where my Ring camera was catching all of it. So he wasn't real happy with that because I'm plain clothes. Not everybody. Like, well, you're also on my property.
Uh,
Oh, okay, Paul. Well, I'm glad. I listen to streams while I'm at work too. Uh, so I fully understand. You know, one thing, just don't let yourself get so distracted by me that you screw up on your job. I hate to be the cause of somebody getting in trouble at work. Cause I've done that. Be listening to a streamer like right now. I'm watching all of the Highlander
okay.
TV series while I'm at work, and it wasn't the high. It was during the one of I think it was during one of the Mission Impossible shows that I bollocksed up some things at work because I got so involved in what was going on the Mission Impossible
Uh,
shows. But you watch it. You watch those old TV shows now. And you sit there and you look at it and you go, that's a little bit on the corny side, or that would never happen. But then you have to always throw that today, because like the Mission Impossibles during the late 60s and early 70s, cell phones weren't around.
I'm
And
so glad cell phones were not around in the 80s. Oh my God.
oh, I'm glad cell phones weren't around in the early 90s.
I wish they were. I had so much awful shit happen to me.
The trouble I would have gotten myself into, the crimes, what would be considered crimes today that I committed,
Mm,
that other people would have recorded.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, that was some. The one story I can tell, because I mean it
Uh,
happened back in the 80s.
uh,
So any chance of it being coming back to bite me on the butt today is long gone. We were TDY to a British Air Force base in Germany. And one night, being well, after we'd gotten well lubricated, we about 7 or 8 of us drove out to the main gate where they had, welcome to such and such base, uh, Royal Air Force, and then they had the home of the. Then they had all the little metal placards of the different units on base, aircraft units. And I went out there with a cold chisel, a little 1 pound sledgehammer, and some rags. Because this is just outside the main gate, so I didn't want to be making a whole bunch of noise.
uh-huh.
And I chiseled off one of the unit's signs. They had it set up in there pretty tight, and I just took a chisel, busted the bolts loose, and brought the placard home with us back to our base. And another guy that worked there with us, he did some pretty good woodwork. So he straightened out this sign and put a frame around it. We hung it up in our break room.
Okay.
Enlisted while intoxicated. That's right. The E4 Mafia strikes, because I was an E4 at the time. E4 senior airman, not sergeant. I don't think I was a sergeant yet. I may have been a sergeant, but I was still an E4. And yeah, then a year or so later, that unit came TDY to our base.
Okay.
And we didn't think, hey, Digi, good morning. And we didn't think anything about it. And their guys come into our break room, and they were in there about 10 minutes. And one of the guys, holy, you thieving bastard, you.
Oh.
He saw their sign sitting there and goes, we wondered who stole that off the main gate.
Oh man.
And they, of course, the guys uh, that were with
Watch,
me,
I'm
we
not
were,
stopping you.
there. They all pointed at me. They ratted me out to the Brits for stealing that sign. I was like, I didn't get in any trouble or anything, but
Of course not.
the the Brits weren't exactly happy that they were just glad. I guess they were happy to see who it was that actually stole it. Because we had it framed up real nice and everything up on our wall. But anyway, But yeah, that woman, I hope that woman took that video and her husband or the boy's father, whoever, were down at a lawyer's office and getting ahead of CPS, getting ahead of the school, using that as grounds for getting the kid removed from the school from
Or
and
the teacher
hopefully
removed. One or the
and
other.
hopefully uh, enough legal threats made against that school, that teacher, and that
Yeah.
school nurse about practicing medicine without a license and making the threats like they made.
Yeah.
All right, so what's next on my agenda? Okay, I talked about that already. And I talked about that already.
Thank you, baby. Oof, that's hot. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Did you see my thumbnail this morning?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
like flashing back to being married.
Ayanna Pressley dressed up and put her head on Sub-Zero's body.
Who is she? Is she an I? She just sounds like an influencer, like a nobody. Like,
No, she's a member of the House of Representatives.
man,
She's one of the original squad.
I have never seen anything positive about her ever. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
So this is where I'm going with this here. This is where all that came from. All
Ooh.
right. She was out giving she was out ranting and raving with all these other people about Musk and the Dodge
Yeah.
crew.
Hello.
Yeah, Paul, I'm hoping that video I'm hoping that video actually was a skit. But the more times I watch it, especially watching the background of it, leads me to believe that that actually was at least recorded in a school building.
uh,
Okay, watching, looking at the background. So, you never know these videos. They can be, anymore if they're skits or real. But that video, it definitely caught me.
I
Yeah,
did
you're
see the
right. Still
video,
doesn't mean it wasn't a skit. But that video, as you can tell, really caught me this morning and made me angry as all get out.
but when I hear no, it sounds like they wanted it to be real. I don't know, so they
Uh
could prove a
oh.
point.
Okay, let's see here. What's this? Texas University removes its ICE raids guidance for faculty
Uh
after campus reform reports. Oh, cool. That's good. I love it.
Why would they
Because
remove that?
these colleges and everybody, we're going to set things up. It's the video I just finished playing before you popped in there, Digi. It was of a parent talking to a teacher, and the teacher saying that if the parent, basically coming down to, if the parent doesn't put the kid on Ritalin or Adderall, she was going to report the parent as being unfit to CPS and have the child taken away from her.
Wow.
So, all right, but let's listen to this Ayanna Pressley. Now, see, a lot of times you'll see her bald headed like this. She was in
Why?
office for about a year or so before she admitted that she wore wigs.
Everybody wears wigs now. It's not that big a deal.
Well, yeah, but she didn't tell anybody she was bald. She was in office for about a year before anybody found out that she had that.
Alopecia?
Uh, yeah, thank you. and that's why she lost all of her hair.
It's nobody's business. It's not hurting anybody.
Well, yeah, but when you're running for Congress, though, and you keep a medical condition secret from everybody.
You know what?
That
If
people
it's,
get a little concerned when you're running for office like
I
that and you're
don't think
keeping
it's that big of a
secrets.
deal.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
you're right. It's
affecting
not
her ability to work. It's not affecting her mental capabilities.
right. Right.
Go to Amazon and treat yourself.
You're 100% right. So why keep it a secret?
It's nobody's damn business.
So
People are awful. I mean,
yeah,
I
a black
don't like
woman
to
with
think people
wigs
are
color me
nicer and
shocked.
sympathetic, but they're really fucking awful. Do you want to?
They're
Do you want to see yourself the target of jokes on SNL and all the influences and on every freaking social site ever?
so anyway. Let's listen to her.
Elon Musk and your muskrats.
Oh wow.
Elon Musk, I mean Donald Trump, same thing at this point, right? Who really is the president, Donald?
We know
Okay, that is why. Why weren't you asking that question the last 4 years? Who is
who.
really the
What?
president
Who's
when
running the country?
when Joe Biden was getting lost on a stage,
Mm-hmm.
or he couldn't give a prepared 5-minute speech, 2-minute speech without getting lost. When his wife is running cabinet meetings, he's not there. She is,
When
and she's running the cabinet meetings.
when random coke is being found in the White House,
Right. The
that's
Democrat, there's no doubt who really is president. There is no doubt
he
Trump
was
is president. He
elected.
just asked he and Musk. They'd been planning this whole Doge thing for at least a year before being elected.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have been in order for them to have the team together and the algorithms written to go in and doing this research that they're having.
Mm-hmm.
But the Democrats are, President Musk. They've been, they're doing their best to disparage and undercut Trump at every step of the way here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, and uh, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Oh.
Donald Trump ran on a promise to bring down costs for everyday people, didn't have a plan for it, but said he would. Well, Donald, how's that going?
He's been in office 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks today. He got sworn in, all right, on the 20th. So he's 7 days short. Today's the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been in office a month yet.
Oh.
And you got, nobody expected him to walk in and 5 minutes later, the prices of everything drop. But that's what these people were out here saying.
Yeah.
He's been in office for 3 weeks. The man has cut more executive orders in 3 weeks and done more in 3 weeks than Joe Biden did in 4 years.
I'll ask you all, how's it going? Are your eggs cheaper?
Why the price of eggs so high? Probably because of the millions of chickens that have been killed. Our
Yeah.
Department of Agriculture finding that one chicken or one was it one chicken or two, had avian flu.
Mm,
And then all of a sudden, they're ordering entire flocks of chickens killed.
it's awful.
You go to Mexico, just across the border down in Mexico, and a dozen eggs is $1.80.
Oh, uh-huh.
All right. Now remember, Mexico, they don't pre-wash the eggs
No.
and treat them and everything. So they're like in Europe, room temperature eggs
Mm, stop. All right, thank you.
because they still have that protective coating on them, that natural protective coating.
Mm, we'll get some
Is your
breakfast.
housing more affordable? Tell me how letting Elon put his paws in the cookie jar is helping a single person who calls this country home.
How is it happening? Well, let's put it this way. Money that isn't being spent on wasteful and frivolous projects
Ooh.
is money that is being kept in the United States and possibly either used to pay down the debt or returned to the American people through tax cuts.
Mm.
That's how, Miss Presley. Again, he's hasn't even been in office a month yet.
Families are struggling. The rent is too damn high. The cost of groceries is too damn high. The big banks and giant corporations are all too eager to nickel and dime hardworking people. And
Well, that's
And
not a
guess
new
what?
thing.
Guess what? It's been that way for the past 4 years. Why? It's amazing how you've just discovered that, Miss Presley. That rent is too high, that mortgages are too high, that banks have been doing things. They've been doing that. All this stuff has been true now for 4 years. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and you, as a member of the House of Representatives, and Chuck Schumer, who had control of the Senate up until a month ago, have done nothing to do anything that you're staying there bitching about now. It was all fine and dandy until a month ago. It was all fine and dandy until a month ago.
you know what has been a saving grace for families trying to hold on to a buck? This small but mighty government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Okay. That's all I wanted to play of that portion. Let's see here. The next one I wanted to go to. This is the one that gets me. This next one here that I'm getting ready to. This next clip. 428. I was almost there. Here we go. Let's skip forward to this clip. Yeah, I love this outfit here. When I first saw it, I just thought of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It made me think of Sub-Zero. Hey, morning, Leslie.
Give me the phone, please.
All right.
Oh,
On behalf of my colleagues, I think I can say we are.
don't
Well,
touch it, pig.
I got to back this up. Let me back this up to there. All right. Now let's listen real carefully to what she says here.
Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say
She says, I am going to speak on behalf of my colleagues.
Me.
She's talking about the Democrats in Congress. She's going to speak on behalf of her colleagues.
Nobody asked her to.
Ah,
Umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people.
Let me play that again for you.
Scammed elders? Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
Wow, that sounds more like a step back.
They want she's saying she's speaking on behalf of the Democrats in Congress.
That actually explains a lot.
All right, I'm not taking her out. I'm not misrepresenting what she said. I played it for you twice. She says she's speaking on behalf of the members of Congress, the Democrats in Congress, and that they want to censor the American people. They want to censor people like me.
Mhm.
She wants to censor people like you, Leslie, Digi, Paul, Raman. She wants to censor us in order to get the progress, what they consider progress, in
Never
order to
gonna
get
happen.
accomplished what they consider progress.
Trying
And
to
what do
shut
they
me up.
consider? What they consider progress?
Play nice. Shut up and play nice. They'll have about
Put,
as
put,
good luck censoring me as they do getting Cat Williams to shut up.
putting pre-teenage children on puberty blockers,
Nope.
mutilating children, cutting off their breast, cutting off their testicles, turning penises into vaginas,
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
putting young boys on estrogen, putting young girls on
Steroids.
testosterone.
Mm.
That's what they consider progress.
Yeah, Lizos, he kind of looks like General Zod there a little bit. Except there's nothing super about it. I'm eating my breakfast a little late, so I apologize.
Oh,
I'm a little.
what are you having for breakfast?
Oh, I'm not a good example for the children today. It's these mini pizza bagel things.
Oh, I my wife wasn't hungry this morning, but
Oh
I
no.
was. So I got 2 packets of that the maple brown sugar instant oatmeal.
Oh, that's so good.
2 packets of that. Put in some extra brown sugar.
Oh my god.
Made that up. Fried up 2 eggs.
Oh
Over
yeah.
easy. Put that on top of the oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Yeah.
Busted up that yolk and got that mixed in with all that oatmeal.
Ooh.
Yum yum yum. That was a good breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I do not like pizza rolls.
I don't like.
They taste they. I have not had a frozen pizza roll, especially those tortinos.
I haven't had the
That
bagels in so long. The little
now
whatever.
the
I'm not
bagels
crazy
are. I've
about.
had the bagels before. And they weren't bad, but then pizza rolls, as I remember them, were nasty as hell.
They were a little hard, actually.
But this woman is claiming that her and the Democrats want to censor anybody that doesn't agree with them.
Well, it's nothing new. I mean, she's just finally admitting it out loud.
And not and you know uh having people dressed, having the drag queens out there uh doing story hour.
Yeah. And how many
uh
got investigated and found to be offenders? No surprise.
and meanwhile they're flashing their junk to the kids.
Oh, All the
Having that,
influencer wannabe moms are sending their kids up with bills to stuff in their garter belts and stuff.
right? Having the drag kids, the having their trans kids go out and do everything but actually strip, do
Some
lap
parents are
dances and
going to
such
hell.
in front of a bunch of grown men. And I'll tell you, any man that shows up to one of those things needs to be identified and have their computers checked.
Uh huh.
Have their histories checked. Have their
Yep.
cell phones checked.
Agreed.
Any man that shows up to watch a young boy dance and do lap dances and pole dances. Well, any female that shows up to them too. There was a teacher here not too long. I just read about yesterday or the day before. Uh, Charged with child porn on her home computer.
Oh my God.
This was a female teacher, single female teacher, charged with child porn. But this is what the Democrats consider progress.
Of course they do.
And they want to censor anybody that disagrees with them. That. Have you noticed, that they well, maybe that's my next video. Where's my next video at here? Here we go. We all know who this is. Miss Maxine Waters.
Ew.
Let's listen to this. And again, I'm playing the whole clip, all 17 seconds of it. Turn that up so that everybody can hear it.
The people of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up by Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us. We don't know what all they have on us.
Maxine, thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. You and the Democrats are damn afraid of what's being exposed and hasn't been released to the public yet through this Doge. How many programs, that have allowed somebody that earns $70,000 or $170,000 a year to become multi millionaires in 5 or 6 years? To go from you're earning $170,000 a year and you have to maintain 2 households with that and pay your staff out of that. And yet, somehow or another, you become multimillionaires rather quickly. I mean, AOC is a multimillionaire already. Unfreaking believable that woman, as dumb as she is,
Then I'm.
all right, her net worth as of today is
No.
$13 million.
Then I'll do it later. Don't do this.
Okay, her net worth. I mean, she makes. Supposedly she makes $1.6 million every year from investments in different businesses.
Oh my God.
Her bank account at Wells Fargo has $250,000 in it. There's some estimates that her real net worth is $29 million. There's some people saying her real real one is her real net worth is 29. Uh, but she went from being, a bartender, maybe having $4,000 or $5,000 in the bank at any given time, to having it being worth $13 million.
Oh
And
God.
let's see here, she was elected to office in 2019.
Sounds like her tips weren't being taxed. People should look into that. Someone should.
Yeah, so she's been in office 6 years, and somehow in 6 years she's grown her net worth
Yeah,
from
wonder
maybe
how that
fifty
happened.
thousand dollars. Let's give it. Let's be get. Let's say she was worth $100,000, including her home. If she owned a home, that's if she owned a home. Let's say her net worth was 100 grand. To now having a net worth of over 13 million in just 6 years. Uh, I just find that extremely difficult to believe.
Yeah. Sorry.
That she did that on her own.
Oh come on. It's not what
Okay,
you know, it's who you know. These bitches never did anything on their own.
so let's see here. Okay, I played that video, so I can close that tab. If anybody wants to listen to this entire speech that Presley was giving, come on, get off of my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a link to that speech Presley was given. If you want to listen to the rest of that, because now that's where I got my thumbnail from. That speech of hers, censoring. She wants to censor me. She wants to be able to tell me to shut up and me have to listen to her.
Ew. I didn't say
Just
anything.
could you imagine the hell that the press would be raising if MTG, Bobert, Mace
Tulsi.
had come out and said that they wanted to set, they're only working with people, willing to work with people who were willing to agree to censor
They have to
the
watch their
American people.
mouths.
The press would be having would be blown up and having a field day over it. But it's being totally ignored when a Democrat says it, a member of the squad. But DOJ or old Doge there. Remember the other day I said I wish that they would their government website, they would do some updating on it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what they're doing? They are actually updating. This is their website as of right now. Now, right now, it looks like it's mostly just reposts of what they're posting on X,
Okay.
but at least it's a start. It's a start to what they had.
Okay.
Good start here. All these 4.6 million contracts canceled in the Department of Education. $4.6 million contract to coordinate Zoom and in-person meetings. A $3 million contract to write a report that showed that prior reports are not being utilized by the schools. Think what that says. A contract to write a report that showed that prior reports were not being utilized. What kind of nonsense is that?
It's government nonsense. We'll never understand it.
Uh, just out of a $1.4 million contract to physically observe mailing and clerical operations.
What?
Somebody was being paid $1.4 million to sit there and watch people send out mail or open mail.
I'll take it. Um,
That sounds like a job you gave that idiot nephew of yours.
Or if you got that friend that's separated from her husband and doesn't want
Yeah.
to declare all her income.
Or, they did, and well, why should I have to go there in person? Let's just set up a camera and I'll watch them from home.
Oh, Your Honor, she needs this much alimony. She's only working in the mail room.
EPA canceled 3 more DEI contracts, saving the American taxpayers $45 million. Miss Pressley, you asked what was being done to put money to help the American people. For a contract for $45 million that the government's no longer spending, I say that's pretty good. Nice start on doing some money savings. So let's see here 45, let's call that 50, 53, 54, right there, $54 million saved right there. And then, they really haven't gotten to one of the departments that really spends a lot of money. Department of Defense. I can't wait. And I'm a firm believer in the Department of Defense. I'm a huge believer in Department of Defense.
Okay.
But I know there has been a ton of wasteful money being spent there.
Well, yeah, there was a big hammer scandal in the 80s. They were paying $125 a hammer or something.
Okay, now
People lost their mind over
part of this was blown out of proportion, especially when they're talking about the screw, like the bolts they were talking about
Okay.
spending. I mean, some of them bolts were like $15 and $20 a bolt, or $100 per bolt.
Yes.
Okay, and while that same that a bolt, same size at your hardware store would be $1.50. The problem about difference is that bolt that is used to hold a wing on an aircraft, a jet fighter.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It has to have a tensile strength far beyond that bolt that you can buy at Home Depot or
Yeah.
Lowe's.
Ace is a placement of helpful hardware
And
man.
on an F-15, there's 3 bolts on each wing that holds that wing to the airframe. 3 bolts. And if I remember correctly, they're like $500 a bolt. But them bolts hold a wing on a fighter aircraft pulling 9 Gs or more without that wing falling off the jet. All right, that means that, okay, and if you think about it, that bolt is holding on. Oh, yeah, Paul, there's a lot of big parts of the DOE I want to see go bye-bye. Amen to that, Paul. The F-15 is, I mean, you can say what you want about the rest of them jets, but that F-15 is still out there flying. Whereas the F-16 is now being used as target practice.
Oh. What is it, baby? All right. Okay.
I love my F-15, Paul. I spent 20 years working on that aircraft.
Oh, look at you.
I love that jet.
Okay.
Is that it's I think those are the old numbers. I don't think those are updated there, Paul. I think those are the old numbers. I think the Saudis have increased that, if I remember correctly. But even so, 104 to 0. There was an F-15 landed with half its wing missing.
Oh my
Half
God.
of a wing got sheared off in flight, and the pilot still landed it. That is the ability of that aircraft. But anyway, I love my F-15. I've got it tattooed on my forearm.
Oh.
I do. There was an apprentice almost got fired over my tattoo on my
Oh
forearm
no.
because even though I took in pictures and a scale model, a physical model of the F-15, okay, when the apprentice made up the artwork on the transfer sheet, she put on an F-18. And she said, well, I didn't realize there was a difference. And the guy that was doing the actual tattoo artist that was doing the work, that was mentoring her, told her that, when somebody brings in photographs and a model,
Oh.
that is what they want. They don't want you to go find something that's a little bit, looks different.
They don't want you to find a diagram made
Oh,
from someone's memory and, yeah.
that A10, Paul, I got into a big argument with a guy online about the A10. He said the warthog nomenclature was only given to it because of Call of Duty, and I beg to disagree. The first A10 I saw was in either 1978 or 1979, and we known it as the warthog back then. And oh no, they didn't. I said, oh, dude, the first time I saw an A10 sitting on the ground, staring down, I did I did type in 50 cal when it's 30 cal. I did make that mistake, but I corrected it. But you stare down the barrels of those 30 cal barrels on the ground. That made me nervous just walking in front of that damn aircraft with those barrels exposed like that. That made me. Little thing about the A-10, they designed the gun first and then the airframe around it. That is serious. They designed the gun and the magazine for it. Yep. They designed the gun and the magazine and everything for it first. Said, okay, now build an aircraft around it. So, okay. But let's get back to this. Doge. Oh, the EPA will not be renewing the membership to political E&E, saving the taxpayers $458,000 a year. You wonder why the Politico is such a left-wing magazine and newspaper? And why they hate Trump so much? Trump is costing them a ton of money because all the contracts that are being canceled, costing them millions of dollars.
No, not our transgender Peruvian comic.
58 cancellations with a savings of $150 million, including media, DEI, and consulting. This includes a $405,000 at Department of Homeland Security for resilience, energy, and sustainability management program support services, and $4 million at the Department of Transportation for DEI programs and projects. Unfreaking, these are contracts the government had in place. This is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is money. If the money is not being spent, if the government's not spending that money, that's money that should go one of two ways: either used to pay down our national debt or return to the taxpayers. One or the other. Now, personally, as much as I'd love to have that money back in our pockets, personally, I believe it needs to go towards paying down the national debt. Because a country cannot maintain sustainability when it can barely afford to pay the interest on its debt. It's just like when you buy your home. We've been in this particular house now 7 years. We moved in just before the Hurricane Michael hit. We moved in February and Michael hit in October. I've managed to make at least one extra house payment a year. Every year since then. Going strictly to the principal. And it has cut almost a year and a half off of my payments of how long before my house will be paid off. So it's going to get paid off at least a year and a half early now, simply because I've made 7 or 8 $900 payments against the principal since we moved in the house. So when you pay off that principal, that reduces your interest and everything else. And that's where this money needs to be going. Of course, Christy Nome clawing back that $59 million from New York City. Now, this is something that needs to be updated. Should have been updated back in, I think they first identified it as being a major problem back in 1981, if I remember correctly. Federal employee retirements are processed using paper by hand in an old limestone mine in Pennsylvania. 700 plus mine workers operate 230 feet underground to process approximately 10,000 applications per month, which are stored in manila envelopes and cardboard boxes. Can you imagine reporting to work underground in a mine just to process government retiree
I think
applications?
that's how my current job feels sometimes. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Going from the Department of Defense to the Department of War, just that name change alone, Paul, would change the entire mindset of the military. We're no longer going to be about just defending our country. We're going to be about going to war against those who want to attack us. That would be a huge mindset change. But why hasn't this, with computerization being the way it is, why hasn't this been automated?
Why?
The processing of retirement paperwork.
I wouldn't be surprised if it already is.
No, it's no. Those they just released this out to the public here within the past couple of days, Raman. Federal employee retirements are processed using paper by hand in an old limestone mine in Pennsylvania. Approximately 10,000 applications per month are stored in manila envelopes and cardboard boxes. Why hasn't that been automated? I don't understand why it hasn't been automated. I really and truly don't. No, I'm not certain what this is about, but okay, we already talked about that one. Department of Education terminated 29 DEI grants worth $101 million. One sought to train teachers to help students understand or interrogate the complex histories involved in oppression and help students recognize areas of privilege and power on an individual basis. This go to doge.gov. Now that they're actually keeping this thing updated as to what they're doing, or just you can follow them on X. But I think it's absolutely amazing what they're actually doing now. Okay, I don't need that because I've already covered that. What do I got here? I've already talked about that. Okay. Raman, do you want to get into the 14th Amendment?
Oh God, I feel like this is a trap.
No, this is the birthright citizenship issue. Do you want to play with
You sound
birthright
excited.
citizenship, or do you just want it to spend the last 15 minutes or so just shooting the breeze?
Whatever you want to do.
I'll tell you, let's end this up just shooting the breeze and not getting everybody mad at us. Let's calm
See
it
that?
down here, because I've had pretty good rant here so far today.
Oh my God. Don't tell my daughter to calm down.
Okay. Oh, Elon. All right, I've got to show this. It looks like Elon's having fun.
I love Elon, and I love when he has fun because it makes people miserable.
I loved his Harry Bowles name he had up there for a few days.
Big balls?
No, Harry Bowles,
Ew.
Bolz.
Oh, okay.
It was, just being that takeoff of Harry Bowles.
Oh my God.
Okay, looks like Elon had some fun
Have
here.
you been crying like a bitch over Elon Musk? Do you find yourself sobbing at the thought of your taxpayer funded transgender basket weaving club losing its funding? You may be suffering from a common condition known as libtardism induced meltdown. But don't worry, there's help. Introducing Grow a Pair, the revolutionary prescription solution designed to help you accept reality. With just one dose a day, you'll start to understand that tax dollars aren't meant for gender numeral electric vehicle startups in Vietnam. After taking Grow a Pair, you may notice life-changing improvements, such as smaller man boobs, the ability to fund your own transgender basket weaving without relying on Uncle Sam, and a newfound indifference to the defunding of the U.S. Department of Slope Sidewalk Studies. Grow a Pair won't solve all your problems, but it can help you stop fixating on who's going to pay for DEI pudding packs in Cambodia.
Side effects may include dry mouth, increased common sense, employment, smaller man boobs, and lower taxes.
Ask your doctor if Grow a Pair is right for you, because adulting is hard, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, Elon, you hit that one. Whoever you got that from, from Man of Memes. Good job.
You
That was
posted all those
good.
memes. Good job.
Oh, Digi wants me doing some ranting. Digi wants me to rant a little bit more.
Yeah, we always have fun when other people get angry. It's great. Oh, that poor horse. What are they doing to that poor horse?
Well, I busted out that glass door. Is he going to take out the rest of it? No. Oh,
right.
no, he's coming back.
He wasn't done.
Yep, there it goes.
Oh my God.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God. Mark Campbell, just disappear. Leave the planet.
I can't.
Did you talk this over with Lucas before you made this pronouncement?
Right? I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was up for discussion. I had no idea.
Oh, what? Okay, William Shatner. For those Star Wars fans who are trying to tell me Disney ruined everything, I assume you're referring to Mara Jade. Hamill actually ruined it for you when he revealed Luke was gay. Mara being struck from Star Wars canon was part of her annulment agreement from the Force.
Wow.
Wow. that's just enough to irritate the hell out of me. Did you see that Tulsi Gabbard being sworn in the other day?
No, I didn't see it.
And Pam Bondi was swearing her in underneath the portrait of Ronald Reagan, with Trump sitting behind, uh, off to the side from Pam Bondi. Now Pam Bondi, she was Attorney General of Florida. And other
Okay.
than her weak ass stance on the Second Amendment, I really liked Pam.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like her on, because she was her biggest thing I disliked about her, she was a firm supporter of red flag laws.
Okay.
And I don't see how you can support red flag laws. That
Oh
just
my God.
absolutely, I if you're a constitutionalist, thousand of libtards just screamed at that image. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, is this another one of these women's? Oh yeah. There's a new scam, a new Chase Bank scam going on out there amongst the mostly. Let's just say everyone I've heard talking about it so far have been heavily melanated. They are not melanated challenged.
Okay.
All right. They're talking
What is
about
the
going into
scam?
Chase Bank. Remember not too long ago they did that thing about writing the fake check,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
drawing all the money out, deposit at
Yeah.
the ATM, then turn around, draw the money out.
Yeah.
Well, now they are going to Chase Bank with their IDs and applying for $150,000 LLC loans.
Okay.
And what was it? Somebody screwed up and approved a couple of them at Chase Bank when the people doesn't have, they had no intentions of starting a business. They just went down and registered an LLC and a DBA, got a tax number, went in Chase Bank and got a $150,000 startup loan. Unfreaking
Okay.
believable. Okay, so let's listen to this woman. All these people, you know, uh, drawing child support from the federal government. I just found out this morning. Okay, the wife told me about this, and I just could not believe it. But the wife wouldn't lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
If your child is considered ADHD and on
Okay.
drugs, okay, you can get money from Social Security
Right. It's a disability. Okay.
as a disability for your child. Several $100s a month. In basically tax free cash.
Yeah.
When she told me that this morning, I was like, you're kidding me. Right? You're not being serious. You already know I'm wound up about this, and now you're doing this just to watch me get further wound up. Because she'll do that sometimes. She'll see
Oh
me getting wound
no,
up about something,
not Mrs. Shrew, never.
and just to have fun, see how much further she can get me wound up.
No, why? No, I don't believe it.
Mm. I I love my wife dearly. I truly do. But sometimes she just enjoys watching my blood pressure go to, she says that my face turns red and I get a couple of veins popping out.
No, not Mrs. Shrew. She would never.
She's got a sick sense of humor sometimes. But yes,
Yeah.
she told me she said I'm not making it up. She goes, remember my wife works with children, government
Oh
contracted
my.
daycare, and she comes home and tells me all these dirty little secrets that some of these parents pull. And she said, "Oh yeah, there's parents out there who have their kids on Ritalin or Adderall, not because the kids actually need it.
Because the teachers couldn't handle them anymore.
No, because the parents found out that they could get a few hundred extra dollars a month."
Oh God, that sucks.
She goes, and the parents sit there and say, "Yeah, my kid comes home and sits on the couch and watches TV all day."
They're too tripped out to do anything else.
Right. And then my immediate reaction to that is, and when that child turns 18, 19, 20 years old, what skills, what life lessons will they have learned? What abilities, coping mechanisms, and such will they have to act as an adult in the world?
Right?
Because they'll have none because they've been drugged their entire childhood. And I may
Well,
be wrong.
it's like the kids on foster care. You know, when a lot of these kids when they hit 18, the foster parents that have been raising them for years put all their stuff in black garbage bags and put it on the front porch and like 18, you're out. And
Oh
I've
yeah,
done
because
some
they
more
quit
little
getting
kids.
paid on the 18th birthday.
Yeah.
But these poor kids, they've never learned how to cope with stress
Mhm.
because they've been drugged. Hey Josh, good morning.
They need to get behavioral therapy. I mean, it's out there. You just gotta reach for it.
Right. And I had the best therapy in the world. My dad's hand to the seat of my britches
Ooh.
or his belt.
Oh.
My mom was even worse. She just used there are times she just grabbed the electric cord off the
Ooh.
electric frying pan.
I thought you were gonna say the electric hair curler. I was like, oh no.
No, you
I
know
don't.
how you got the electric skillet and the cord comes off of it.
Yeah.
Well, she used, heaven help you if you got in trouble while she had that electric skillet out. She just
Ugh.
yanked that cord off and used it on you. That thing hurt.
Oh my God. Excuse me. That's horrible. Well, I live with someone that liked to use a curling iron, so that was not fun. I had a scar on the top of my foot for years behind that.
Did you? I am so sorry you went through that.
Oh my God.
I am so sorry you had to go through that. You
You
too,
know,
Josh. What we had, like I said, we had our son on Ritalin for I think he was on it for one school year for 9 months, and
uh-huh.
we worked extra hard with him during those 9 months to get him to understand that during classroom time he had to sit and pay attention.
You know,
So,
they released
hey,
something a couple
Paul.
years about Ritalin a couple of years ago. Like, by the time people have been taking it for like 20 plus years, it actually physically changed the shape of patients' brains. I was like, oh my God.
But no, I just that was one of the three big arguments my wife and I had, and that argument lasted for months.
What? She didn't want your son on Ritalin?
No, I didn't want my son on Ritalin.
Okay.
When it came to raising our son, all right, for better or ill, I agreed with the wife that she had that is what her education was in. That's what she's got her master's degree in. That's what she's done since she's worked in with children all of her adult life. And the agreement we had was that she was the primary. She's the one that made most of the rules and most of the decisions. Not because I didn't want to, but because my upbringing on a farm was totally different than how we were bringing up our son.
That's fine. Yeah.
And I felt ill prepared to be a father making a lot of those decisions. Now I was involved with them, don't get me wrong,
But she was the major decision maker.
but her position, her decision, her thoughts had a lot more weight than mine did.
Well, it's kind of things were with us. I mean, I chose the preschool, I chose the kindergarten,
You
I
know,
chose the pediatrician, things like that.
and it was just because I thought she was better educated and better suited to be the one making a, a lot of these decisions. You know how when you're married, okay, or you're living with someone,
Uh huh.
okay, what one person makes more decisions about some areas than the other person makes more of the decisions dealing with other areas.
All right.
Okay, at least that's the way it's been with my wife and I.
All right.
Okay, some areas I make the decisions, or I make the majority of the decisions, or my opinions have more weight than hers do. In other areas, it's just the opposite. And that, I mean, it's worked for us for the past 35 years. So my dad used whatever was at hand, Paul. He he'd use his hand, he'd use a belt. If he had you go get his police belt off his uniform,
Oh.
get his utility belt off, that was the major you've done made the major mistake of the month. Uh like the day I left my 22 rifle loaded
Mm,
and brought it in the house and put it up on the gun rack. Now, did I do that on purpose? No. But boy, I felt that police belt that night.
mm,
All 10 swats of it.
mm.
All right, did you? Well, you have a good day at work now, okay? And I'm glad you're stable now. I'm glad you're stable. I don't like I don't pick on people about things like that in their lives. I because you know I don't have everybody's life is different, and your life choices and what's happened to you in your life. We all find our own ways of coping. My wound care nurse and I were talking the other day while she was abrading my legs,
Okay.
and we were talking about how different people handle the pain. Ooh, Paul, that's painful. I was just glad I had that. Well, my dad's belt was leather. The only problem we had to with is after we got done, we had to break out the Kiwi boot polish and polish it back up and present it to him before we put it back in the room. Put his the handcuffs and mace and everything else back on it, the holster. But I mean, all of our life experiences are different, and sometimes we've had to make choices that other people would disagree with.
Yeah.
So I don't, I try to remember that and that, because I've not always made the best choice, the best decision in my life. I probably, my ratio of good decisions to bad ones is probably 30 to 70. 30 good decisions for every 70 bad. Now, the good decisions I've made been very good, like, picking the woman that I ended up marrying. Remember, she threw away between her and her best friend, my phone number got thrown away 3 times.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Thrown away or lost 3 or 4 times before she finally kept it. So, not I was at the point where it's like, okay, this is it, no more. I'll never, I won't buy another Subway sub. If I see you working, I'll find someplace else to eat, type thing. Because that's how I met her. She worked at Subway.
Um.
Uh, well, I met her at the Subway place, and uh, she worked at a daycare center that's right across the street from the video store I
Oh.
worked at doing. And she'd come over in the mornings and get videos we didn't charge them for videos.
Yeah.
They'd come over and get 4 or 5 videos every morning for the kids.
A lot of parents would probably pick their kids up on a Friday afternoon and come straight to you before going home.
Yeah, that happened too. That we pretty much knew when people got off work.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, the I'm on so many damn pills now. It's scary. I probably take. I say I gotta take it somewhere between 15 to 20 pills a day now.
Oh, that does not
And
sound good.
I, 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 most of them are supplements over the counter. I will say that most of them are over the counter supplements.
Okay.
Like one of them is L-arginine, and the doctor wants me to take. I take a 3,000 in the morning, a 1,000 in the afternoon, and a 500 in the evening.
What's that for?
It for blood flow,
Okay.
for circulation issues. Uh,
Okay.
so I mean, right there's 3 tablets, three different tablets. Then he's got me on vitamin B and B12 and vitamin C, over the counter stuff. But that's four more of each one of those, or 2 more of each one of those. And then, of course, my 3 times a day gabapentin, 3 times a day hydrocodone.
Yeah.
And then some sort of a statin drug, also for my circulation. And then there's a couple other ones back there. I can't. A zinc pill. It's like, okay, I'm not realizing the body utilizes zinc every day, but I guess so. But anywho, but like I said, most of this stuff is over the counter. I only got 3 or 4 that are prescription.
Right.
So, but the over counter stuff's almost as expensive as actually, it's more expensive than my prescriptions. Yeah, I know, Josh. It does. It really does. I've got the alarm set on my watch to 7 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and then 9 o'clock at night to take all my pills. Yeah, but it is so dark outside. I've got to have kitchen light or house lights on. The skies have been black here all day. It's raining, something horrible. So, anyway, next Thursday, I will not be streaming next Thursday.
What's happening?
I've got to go take a 3-hour drive to Tallahassee. And I've got to be there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a 3-hour drive. So we'll probably leave here 3.5 hours before the appointment. Give us a little, like I told the wife, she goes, well, what happens if you get there early? I said, well, I'll go in and sit down and wait, and you can take the car and go shopping if you want.
Okay.
Try to find the mall or shopping plaza or whatever and go see what you can find. That's
Okay.
pretty much the plan. And after anyway, just go out and, well, I'm having a football helmet put on my head and for MRI while I'm half drugged. I finally talked to the doctor and gave me 4 Xanaxes for that trip. And even then I'm concerned that I'm still going to have a claustrophobia attack.
Oh.
I'm scared to death I'll undergo claustrophobic attack while I'm there. I may take a couple of shots of Jack with me
Oh my God.
to
Okay.
to help enhance the effects of the Xanax. So, watch out for scam text. I got a scam text this morning about
So stop.
Sunshine toll roads or something like that.
Oh no.
And I don't drive on any toll roads. I've never had this Sunshine
Me neither.
toll thing. Uh, Sunshine. Sunshine Toll Pass. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Pays for tolls in Florida plus 21 other states. SunPass Pro works in Florida, Georgia, Kansas, Oklahoma, and parts of Texas, plus everywhere Easy Pass is accepted. And I got a text this morning saying, "Hey, your account. We tried to bill your account and it didn't go through." And it's like, damn straight didn't go through because I don't do toll roads. Unipass, never heard of it. By the way, morning data. But I don't, like I said, let's see here. I probably drive on maybe 10 roads a month, 10 different roads a month. That's it.
Okay.
And none of them are toll roads.
Oh, okay.
There's all Florida and 11 other states. Wow. Amazon Unipass. They just want to know if you did something, but he doesn't. He's he's wanting to know if you looked into that tire place.
No, you know what? My ex is likely gonna pay for it, so I'm leaning on him. Yeah, you know.
Okay, well that's good. At least I honestly I don't understand the issue with getting tires for a VW Bug. Why somebody wouldn't want to work, put tires on a Bug. I mean, tires are
Hey,
tires when it comes to
right?
cars.
As long as it's the right size, but people are saying, "Oh, it's a foreign car. We have to program it once the tires done and all this BS." And I'm like, "Oh,
Program? What kind of
it's a
car do
big,
you?
it's a Volkswagen. It's not that big a deal." But
Is it the Bug?
no, it's a Jetta. But like anytime, even the most minor thing has to be done, everybody makes a big deal. Oh, I'm not insured for that. I can't touch it. You need I forgot what it was that needed to be done, but everything is programming now. Oh, it was a problem with my battery. Yeah, they jump started it. It was fine. I ran it yesterday because my body's stupid and wants me to die. So my body kept trying to throw itself into the concrete in the parking lot, and I was so dizzy and disoriented just getting the freaking mail yesterday. I went and sat in my car, which was closer than the elevator. I just sat in the car and cooled off for an hour.
Okay, I'm sitting here looking at online the official VW procedure for how to change the tire on the Jetta,
Oh my god.
and it's exactly what I would figure it is. Jack your
Take the old
tire.
tire off
You
and put
know,
the new one on.
loosen your lugs while they're on the ground. Jack it up. Take off the lugs. Put on the new tire. Tighten them up. Put them on the ground. Double check your torque and drive off.
Honestly, if I'd known it would be this hard to have this thing
It doesn't
to
say
do,
nothing about having to do any programming.
God help you if you need a copy of your key. I mean,
Oh, my wife just had to spend $425 on getting a new key for
yeah,
her
no.
Honda Pilot.
You know, if I'd known about half the difficulties was gonna have before I got this car, I would have sat without a car for another year until they got me a model I could handle. Because this is okay. I'm not gonna lie, it handles really well, and it's small. I like it.
Robert F. Kennedy just got confirmed as the nation's health secretary.
Yay.
Oh, boys, the left being going to be pissy about that. Oh, that is absolutely going to I mean, the left will be screaming.
The left
You
doesn't
thought
like
you heard them
anything.
scream about Elon. Them's going to be screaming about, they hear them scream about Robert Kennedy Jr. being. I mean, they hate him as it is. Oh yeah, yeah, Data. That went through. I tell you, like my my Dodge, I'm going to hate when I got to change out these tires. I'm going to probably go to standard road tires
On the
when these
last
wear
car of
out,
mine.
just because I don't need the super deep treads or anything. I don't do anything off road.
I'm so bitter because the last car I had a few years ago, when I last got my tax return around then, I replaced all 4 tires. And now I have to replace 2 more. My ex will probably do it.
There's a guy down the road from us that sells retreads,
Mm,
and I'd probably go down there and buy a set of retreads from him.
there's no patching these tires. They are just fucking destroyed.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, you know what a retread is, don't you?
Yeah, they fix up your tire and they sell it
No, no,
used.
no, no. Retreads, what they've done is they've bought in the old tires, which are normally that are, been the tread worn off,
Yeah,
and they cut the existing tread off, and they can buy the new tread.
yeah.
And there's a heat glue process
Right, well, it's
that they
rubber.
use to apply that new tread to the existing tire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
The
Paul,
worst of this
for
is I was planning on buying a whole new set of tires in a few weeks, but nope, this happened.
Paul, for the
My
driving I do, retreads would be perfectly fine
yeah,
because I'm not hauling anything. I'm just, let's put it this way. I'm getting an oil change next month. I've got an oil change scheduled on my truck for next month. All right. And I don't have 3,000 miles on the truck since my last oil change, and it's been 6 months. The only reason why I'm getting an oil change is because it's been 6 months and I'm running synthetics. So, I mean, they told me I didn't really need an oil change for a year. I could go another 6 months without an oil change. And I'm like, no, I'm just, yeah. I mean, it's a 12-mile one-way trip twice a week to work, and then whatever doctor's appointments I get on occasion, or the occasional once every 2 weeks, I may make a trip down to the local grocery store, a mile away to pick up odds and ends. So, yeah, I'm not putting it now. If I was doing putting 1,500 miles a month on my vehicle, that'd be a different story. But I'm not doing that. Just I mean, the heaviest thing I plan on putting in the bed that I put in the bed of my truck is going to be some filing cabinets I'm planning to buy uh, next month. I need to get two drawer filing cabinets. So that's going to be my expense. You know, I did put a refrigerator in the bed of my pickup truck uh, last year.
Ah,
So, but anyway, damn, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'll go and be 2 hours and 20 minutes by we shut down the stream. You got any last words of wisdom there, young lady?
oh my God. Don't buy a Volkswagen, no matter what they tell you.
I know
Seriously.
the VW bugs, everybody loved them. They're
They're
cheap,
cute.
solid, good
I
mileage.
You could cut one in half and put it on somebody's roof and have it reassembled in like a couple hours. I mean, so I've heard. Not that I've ever done it. I would never do that. That would be wrong.
Do or do not, there is no try.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard.
I know um somebody had gotten a ticket for backing into a parking space.
Oh no.
Evidently, in that parking lot, and it was a paid lot, you had to pay to park in it. But evidently, one of their rules was no backing into the parking spaces. And I don't know why. I mean, it's actually safer when you're leaving to having been backed up into the parking spot.
Hmm.
It's actually safer for you. But anyway, it pissed him off. So what he did was he bought another car, another identical year and model car, cut
Okay.
them in half, and attached the two front ends together.
Oh no.
And he drove. And then he had the car had it all painted and everything. All right, finish your lunch. Okay, well, have a good one. Enjoy yourself, Data. I think you got that backwards. It's better to believe in God and be wrong, or be right, than not believe in God and be wrong. So, all right. Well, everybody have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Try to stay out of trouble. In my case, I got to try to stay dry. I got to take Spanky out here in a few minutes. So that means I got to use an umbrella. Him
Okay.
spoiled. He don't like going out in the rain
He's a
to
good
get
boy.
wet and get wet when he goes pee.
I don't think he's spoiled. He's just appreciated.
So, no, my wife spoiled him. When we
Oh my
first got him,
God.
she would go out with him and hold an umbrella over him when he went pee.
Well, he
So
was a good boy.
now he expects it all the time. So, and I know what I'm making for my lunch today.
What?
I've got some jalapeno and cheese sausages in the refrigerator, and I will wrap them up in some crescent dough with
Oh,
some
almost like
more
pigs and blankets.
with some pickled jalapenos and some cheddar cheese, and then bake them off. So I'm going to get jalapeno and cheese and cheese.
Oh, look at you. Look at you
That
all
sounds
fancy.
good. And I'm going to do up the whole box, the whole package of them. And that way I got some to snack on later.
Mm, that sounds nice.
Today's one of those days I woke up hungry, and no matter how much I've eaten, I'm still hungry.
Oh, I hate those days.
Yesterday I hardly ate anything yesterday. I didn't eat anything until supper time, and then the wife ate more than I did. But today I woke up hungry, and I mean that those 2 packages of oatmeal and 2 fried eggs should have taken care of me, but I've been sitting here for the past 2.5 hours hungry.
I got the apple oatmeal. It's so yummy.
The apple what?
Apple oatmeal. It's oatmeal with like apple pieces in it.
Oh.
I
Oh,
love that
okay.
shit. That's the best.
I
That's
just
so
buy that
yummy.
box of assorted oatmeals.
I used to do that, but some of them had so much sugar. I was like, oh no.
Well, I added more sugar to my maple this morning because I've
Oh
added
my
more brown
god.
sugar to it. All right, guys. As always, be with the ones you love the ones that you're with, and we'll be back tomorrow. Friday fun stream.
Yay. I can't believe tomorrow's Friday already.
Yeah, I know. Bye bye, y'all.